Don't be caught unprepared. Tomorrow we step into one of the most peculiar days of the year, and most people will walk into it completely wrong. Tomorrow is one of the strangest days on the calendar, Friday the 13th. This date has carried strong spiritual meaning for generations. People have always treated this day as something peculiar, but what you don't know is that before certain days arrive, there are things that simply should not follow you into them. This is what separates the people who will thrive tomorrow from the ones who will quietly sabotage their own day. Chapter 2. Give up the habit of sleeping like this before tomorrow. One small habit quietly shapes the tone of your entire environment, and most people ignore it every single day. They wake up and leave their bed exactly as it is, sheets tangled, blankets pushed aside, pillows scattered. Then they walk away and never think about it again. But the bed becomes the first thing you see when you wake up, and often the last thing you see before you sleep again. That constant visual disorder subtly signals to your mind that your environment is unfinished. Making your bed isn't about perfection or discipline. It's about creating a sense of stability in your space. When you reset that one simple area, your room immediately feels more intentional and calm. Before Friday the 13th arrives, reset that small ritual. Walking into the day from a space that feels orderly changes the atmosphere of your home more than people realize. And, surprisingly, the next habit people carry into tomorrow has nothing to do with their environment. It has to do with something they already know deep down but keep ignoring. Chapter 3. The mistake everyone will make tomorrow. Many people already know the direction they should move in, but they keep ignoring it. They overthink it, delay it, or wait for someone else to confirm what they already feel. Instead of trusting that quiet internal signal, they treat it like a suggestion that needs approval. But intuition rarely works that way. Your intuition is usually the first answer your mind tries to argue with. When people ignore it, life becomes unnecessarily complicated. Decisions drag on longer than they should. Situations feel confusing, and simple choices become exhausting debates. Before tomorrow arrives, drop the habit of doubting what you already know. That quiet sense of direction is often far clearer than the opinions people search for outside themselves. And once you stop questioning your own clarity, you start noticing something else about days like Friday the 13th. Chapter 4. You need to stop looking. At Friday the 13th like this, most people have been conditioned to treat Friday the 13th as something negative. Movies, stories, and cultural superstition have reinforced the idea that this date brings bad luck or strange events. Because of that conditioning, many people approach the day already expecting something to go wrong. When someone starts a day with that expectation, their mind begins searching for confirmation. A small inconvenience suddenly feels symbolic. A delayed message feels like a bad sign. Even ordinary problems begin to look like proof that the superstition is real. But, in most cases, nothing unusual is happening at all. The mind is simply filtering reality through the expectation of bad luck. Expectation shapes experience far more than the date on a calendar. When someone wakes up believing the day will be chaotic, they become more sensitive to every small inconvenience. Their attention locks onto problems instead of opportunities. But if someone approaches the day as neutral, or even empowering, the entire experience changes. Instead of waiting for something to go wrong, they remain calm and observant. They move through the day normally, which allows them to make better decisions and avoid unnecessary stress. This shift in perspective reveals something important. The meaning of a day rarely comes from the calendar itself. It comes from the attitude someone brings into it. If someone expects problems, they will notice problems. If someone expects clarity, they will notice opportunities. The day itself does not change. The mindset does. Once people stop seeing Friday the 13th as a warning sign, they begin to approach it like any other day that simply invites a bit more awareness. And that awareness often reveals another habit people rarely question. Chapter 5. The need to be seen as good. Many people build their identity around being perceived as a good person. They want others to see them as kind, helpful, patient, and understanding. At first, this seems like a positive goal because kindness and compassion are important qualities. But problems begin to appear when someone becomes overly concerned with maintaining that image. When someone constantly tries to appear good in the eyes of others, they start editing parts of themselves. They hide frustration even when it is justified. They avoid disagreement because they don't want to seem difficult. They suppress emotions that might make them look less agreeable. Over time, this creates pressure to constantly manage how others see them. Instead of reacting honestly to situations, they begin performing a version of themselves that fits the expectations of others. They smile when they are irritated. They stay quiet when they want to speak. They agree with people even when something inside them says they shouldn't. The problem with this habit is that it slowly disconnects someone from their instincts. Instead of responding based on what they truly feel, they respond based on what keeps their image intact. This can lead to situations where people tolerate things they shouldn't tolerate or remain silent about things that actually matter. The pressure to maintain the good person identity often begins early in life. Many people learn that being agreeable earns approval and acceptance. They become the responsible one, the reliable one, the person who never causes problems. But as adults, that role can become limiting. And now it's time for today's comment of the day. Forgive yourself for not knowing earlier what only time could teach you. and always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. Chapter 6. Comment. Highlight of the day: you are not alone. There's something compassionate about this message. We're often much harder on ourselves than we need to be. Looking back, it's easy to say, I should have known better. But the truth is, some lessons simply can't be learned any other way than through time and experience. That's how growth works. And the second part of this comment carries a lot of warmth. The reminder that hope and connection are still there even when things feel uncertain. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is forgive our past self, keep believing in what's ahead, and remember that we're not walking this path alone. Thank you for sharing such a thoughtful message.